Heyo, let me show you something that is awesome. Awesome! Why is somebody else doing this? I've been doing this for a long time. The light mod god has arrived. Let's talk about autofocus assist lamps and the autofocus assist on a Nikon Speedlight, and we're going to apply it to Fuji and Nikon or Canon or anything else you got, and this is an amazing option. I am a hardcore slut for using wireless triggers on my speed lights, keeping at my hip, sticking them somewhere. I actually have a speed light here on a cord, which I always use. I just drape it around my shoulder like a camera bag, and then I bring up the speed light on the cord, use it wirelessly with Nikon, with the Fuji. Now there is an autofocus assist lamp on the front of this. You also have an autofocus assist light on the Fuji and a Canon and Nikon right there. It sucks if you're going to do a nighttime shoot, or like a wedding outdoor reception shoot, or something outdoors, evening club scene. It's going to suck some serious power over a very short period of time. That's not really an issue. The distance that you got on this is not that far. It's spitting distance. The distance that I've got is rated for 10 meters, or basically 30 feet. Well, the practicality is that it does not reach out that damn far. Typically about 20 feet, and it's slow to autofocus. It does let you attain accurate autofocus, but it's not fast. Now, I cannot use, even with an advanced Nikon and this expensive $550 SB910, I cannot use the autofocus assist lamp wirelessly. I can only trigger the flash. I would have to use my SC29 flash cable attached here and in the hot shoe of my camera. It's an expensive little flash cable. Okay? Still an issue. You obviously have to be pointing it at what you want to be shooting at. Oh, okay, well that's fine. But you only get about 20 feet. So what is the superior option? Something that's really awesome. Lets you turn off the autofocus illumination and lets you get fast, reliable, extreme low light, any low light. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, you can be shooting out in pitch black you want to autofocus on some dude that's 30 feet out in the street and it's a club or whatever the hell it is. You can't do that even with this autofocus assist lamp. The subject is too small. The lamp will go out. Your camera, no matter how good the lens is, how good the Nikon is, it's not going to autofocus either fast, or probably it's going to miss autofocus. So what's the superior option to get around that? Now, obviously, if I'm shooting wirelessly, I'm going to be shooting in manual mode. I have to judge for the distance of my subject. I have to judge for the exposure that I want, or I'll use the speed light, especially with the Fuji, in auto mode. Now there's a little sensor on the front of any speed light from Nikon, SB26 on up. Auto mode really works about 90% as good as TTL. It senses the amount of light for the given ISO, and then it shuts off. In some instances, it's actually better than TTL. So, whether it's Nikon and a speed light like this, or the Fuji and a speed light like this, I've got no other options other than manual or auto. Auto is incredibly reliable, by the way. Let me show you something awesome. Okay, here we go. Get to the point, right? I know. I've got 3 setups like this. I've got 2 Surefires. By the way, these are tactical Surefires. They make like 30 or 40 different Surefires. They're actually pressure-activated lights. Most of the really nice ones have a variable between low intensity and high intensity. This is a smaller one made out of metal. This one is mostly plastic or polymer. They're kind of expensive. You can find cheap Chinese knockoffs. The most knocked off item is a Surefire tactical light. Autofocus assist. Right here. Velcro to the side of this SB28. Wirelessly, I have no autofocus options for available on the Speedlight. None whatsoever. Not a big deal. I can turn the autofocus assist lamp off on my Nikon, on my Fuji. On the Nikon, it's not a big deal. On the Fuji, it's more of an issue so far as you're shooting all night long in low light, club, late evening wedding reception. Like, well, I don't want to shoot somebody in the eye. Well, you just use the low intensity light out of the Surefire, not the high intensity light. Okay? Exposure issues. You're going to be shooting in manual or auto anyway. You're going to be thinking, well, you're autofocusing with the Surefire. It's going to affect the exposure. No, it's not. You're going to be shooting in auto, or you're going to be shooting all in manual. It doesn't make any difference as far as the light that's actually cast on the subject. You're using this strictly as an autofocus assist illumination. In manual, it obviously makes no difference. You're going to turn it off right before the shot on half press, depending on how you have your Nikon set up. On all the Fujis, it's the same. Half press on the shutter release is going to lock in exposure, and it's going to lock in autofocus. All you have to do is turn it on just long enough at half press and let go of it to acquire autofocus lock. Then press it the rest of the way for exposure. You're going to expose, like I said, you got an assist sensor right up here in the front that senses the amount of light in auto mode. I'm not talking about autofocus assist, I'm talking about quenching the light out of the speed light if you have an auto mode. A manual mode doesn't make any difference. It'll put out what you set it to put out. This works amazing. Why is nobody else doing this? Now this looks ungainly. It's actually not. This is no more ungainly. I have my trigger finger on my left hand set right back here. Got a pressure switch on the back. I can actually turn it on by pressing it all the way. Or just press it a little bit, let go, turn it off and on. Low intensity, high intensity. Perfect autofocus assist for distance, for speed. It's faster, it's better. You're not sucking power out of the autofocus assist illuminator on your Fuji or your Nikon. On the Nikon, it's not a big deal at all. On the Fuji, it's more of a big deal, or any mirrorless camera. But fast, highly accurate autofocus assist using this. And at distance. I have no options on the Fuji for autofocus assist, even with a flash cable. No possibility. Doesn't matter whether it's the Fuji speedlight, which is actually made by Sunpack. Fuji's coming out with their own speedlight. But I have no options with the SC29 cable or any cable with this Nikon speedlight to use the autofocus assist with the cable between the speedlight and the hot shoe of the camera. None. With the Nikon, I obviously do, but I don't like to go around with my speedlight on a cable. It becomes cumbersome, it becomes a pain in the crotch. I love doing everything wirelessly. I know how to use my speedlight and set it up for manual exposure. Typically I use an auto on a changing scene. It's constantly shooting at different distances. I'll rely on the speedlight to auto quench the speedlight at the given indicated ISO for quenching the speedlight output. But this works perfectly. It does not affect exposure. It's very, very fast, and it's very, very effective. And I'm eliminating the drain off my Fuji, and so far I can turn the autofocus assist illuminator off in my setup menu on the back of the Fuji. So, works incredible. Why is nobody doing this? There are a lot of people that are shooting incredible low light, and they're missing shots because they have no autofocus assist possibilities on their Fuji. But the same is also occurring with the Nikon, because this, even with the SC29 cable attached to the Nikon, does not reach out technically to the indicated 10 meters or 30 feet. It just doesn't. It's slow. It damn well does work. If you're inside of a house and the autofocus assist illuminator comes on at say 15 feet and you're doing an architectural shot in low light or something like that, or a party inside the house, it works. It's not incredibly fast, but it works. But it doesn't work at distance. You want to shoot outside, like at a festival, or like some sort of night event on the street, or you want to take an accurate exposure and get the correct autofocus in a really dark situation that's about 15 yards away or something like this. Not good and not fast. You'd be lucky if it works at all, and if it does work, it'll be slow. So even the very, very best option from Nikon with Nikon Speedlight, the autofocus assist illuminator does work. It works pretty well, but it's got issues. This has no issues. None. And I love to use my speedlights wirelessly. Love it. And with Fuji, this is an incredible option. These two combined, I have wonderful options. If you think this looks bulky or obnoxious, it's not. It may look slightly like that, but it's not. It works really damn well. Thanks for watching, and another option to fix a problem with your Nikon and your Fuji, especially the Fuji, or any mirrorless camera like that, or any camera that you want to use a speedlight wirelessly with. Autofocus assist illuminator. Just attach. Industrial Velcro is your best friend in the whole world. Industrial Velcro. Surefire speedlight or a cheap Chinese knockoff. Whichever one you want. Make sure it's got a push button activation on the back of it. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye!